Margaret Holloway was known by many names: Boss Lady, Fashion Queen, Ice Heart. She ran her fashion marketing firm like a royal court, and anyone who didn't meet her standards was dismissed, both literally and emotionally. Every morning she arrived at the Manhattan skyscraper like she owned it, though technically she didn't. But her aura said otherwise. Wearing designer heels and a $3,000 coat, Margaret's presence made elevator conversations stop. Her perfume, her walk, even the sound of her stilettos on marble echoed status. But all that gloss hid a sharp tongue and an ego that left little room for kindness. She rarely made eye contact with the security guards, never learned her receptionist's name, and certainly never noticed the janitor. His name was Harold Green. He was in his late 60s. He wore the same faded green uniform every day, moved slowly, spoke gently, and worked with quiet precision. He mopped the floors before dawn, cleaned fingerprints from the lobby glass, and even watered the plants when no one else did. To Margaret, he was invisible, just another piece of furniture in her well-manicured world. Then came that rainy Wednesday. The city was soaked. Margaret's driver canceled last minute, so she had to hail a cab. The cab got stuck in traffic, and by the time she stormed into the building, she was 30 minutes late to an important investor meeting. Her stilettos clicked furiously across the marble until she slipped, just barely. One heel skidded on the wet marble. She didn't fall, but her coffee did, splattering onto her expensive coat. And standing nearby with a mop in hand was Harold. Margaret's eyes turned into daggers. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Harold, calm and apologetic, said, "Sorry, ma'am, just mopped. I was about to put the sign up." "You were about to?" she snapped. "Are you trying to break someone's neck?" "Didn't mean no harm," Harold replied softly. "No, you just meant to ruin my day," she barked. "This is not a damn subway station. It's a business building, not your backyard." A few employees nearby glanced up, then quickly backed down, pretending not to hear. Margaret adjusted her coat, stepped around him dramatically, and marched toward the elevator. That wasn't the first time. Over the next few weeks, Margaret threw more words at Harold than she'd ever spoken to her own assistant. "You missed a spot. Do you even clean these floors properly? Why are you still here at your age?" Harold never raised his voice. He simply nodded, kept cleaning, and went on with his day. What Margaret didn't know was this: Harold Green owned the building. Years ago, Harold had been a successful real estate investor. He built his empire from the ground up, buying properties across New York City. But tragedy hit hard. His wife of 35 years died from cancer, and not long after, his business partner betrayed him, draining one of their biggest joint ventures. Harold sold off most of his properties except for one, the building Margaret walked into every day. He handed the building's management to a firm and decided to step away from the high-rise life. But as time passed, something kept pulling him back. Not for profit, not for power, but for purpose. So Harold returned to the building in the most humble way. He applied for the janitor role under a false name through a staffing agency. He didn't need the money. He needed the peace. He wanted to see how people truly behaved when they thought no one was watching. He wanted to find meaning in simple work, to stay grounded, and perhaps observe. And observe he did. He saw people who treated him like dirt. But he also saw a few who smiled, who said thank you, who picked up their own coffee cups instead of leaving them on tables. But no one was louder or crueler than Margaret Holloway. Then, came the email that shook the tenants. Mandatory rooftop meeting with the building owner, attendance required for all senior executives. Margaret scoffed. He better not raise our rent again. The day arrived. The rooftop garden was decorated with elegant flower arrangements. Waiters served sparkling water and canapes. Executives from different companies gathered in groups, murmuring guesses about the mysterious landlord. And then silence. Harold walked in, but not as the janitor. He was wearing a tailored gray suit, freshly shaven, standing tall with a calm authority. Gasped. People whispered. Margaret choked on her drink. Harold took the podium. Good afternoon. My name is Harold Green. I'm the sole owner of this building. Silence fell heavy. Margaret's face drained of color. For the past year, I've been working here quietly, not as your landlord, but as your janitor. I wanted to observe the culture, the behavior, the humanity, or the lack of it. No one moved. I saw kindness. I saw respect. But I also saw entitlement, disrespect, arrogance. His eyes rested on Margaret. I've made a decision. This building will no longer host companies that lack human decency. Going forward, leases will only be renewed for tenants who show respect to every worker here, be it the CEO or the one who cleans your floors. The room stayed frozen. A month later, Margaret's company received notice. Lease not renewed. Must vacate premises in 60 days. The official reason? Misalignment with building's values. Margaret was livid. She tried to call the management company. No answer. She tried to reach Harold. No response. Soon rumors spread in the industry. Clients backed away. Her board lost faith. Eventually, Margaret was voted out as CEO. The woman who used to walk on marble now stood in line for job interviews. 6 months passed. One quiet morning, in a downtown cafe far from her old high-rise, Margaret sat with a lukewarm coffee and a resume on her lap. A janitor entered, mop in hand. For a second, she froze, heart racing, shame flooding back. But this time she stood. She walked up to him and said, "Thank you for what you do." The janitor blinked. "Ma'am," she smiled. "I just wanted to say thank you." He nodded with a gentle smile. "That's kind of you." Margaret sat back down, and for the first time in years, her heart felt a little lighter. Moral of the story: don't judge anyone by their job title, their uniform, or their silence. The person you overlook today might be the very one who controls your tomorrow. Respect is not earned through wealth. It's revealed through character,